recording. And I want to say salam to everyone. If I know we've had a lot of new faces come around, so if you haven't been to one of our webinars before, my name is Noor. I'm one of the Al-Rajhi representatives here in the United States, and I hope that you're able to benefit from this webinar. Inshallah, we'll cover as much information as I can in terms of sale day prep, what to have prepared. What you can do to, inshallah, make the process a little bit smoother and easier, and what to expect, basically. As far as those who've been around, you know how I run things. So inshallah, hopefully, this continues to be beneficial for you. The first thing I want to go ahead and say, we're in the blessed month of Ramadan. I know that there has been so much stress around this process. I truly am sorry. And I wish it was a smoother process for everyone involved. There's a huge learning curve involved, of course, with any sort of new technology, and with the new platform like NUSUK. It's the second year it's been around. There's certainly a lot of things that need to be improved on, and so hopefully, while this process goes on, it becomes easier and easier for the Hujjaj. As far as this year goes, of course, inshallah, I will be here every step of the way. I'll continue to do office hours after this. I'll continue to be available all day tomorrow as we go through this process. But I do want everyone to kind of remember, we have this shared faith and this belief that at the end of the day, the invitation for Hajj, for Umrah, is only through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just please, brothers and sisters, I know tomorrow is going to be tough. It's going to be frustrating. The website is going to be overloaded with people trying to get their package. So I just want you to remember at the end of the day, and have faith that if this is the year, inshallah, that you're meant to go for Hajj, it'll happen for you. And the second thing, of course, it's a blessed night. It's the nights of Ramadan. So make sure you go ahead and make dua as well. So on that note, I'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to shut off my camera so that way you guys can go ahead and see the screen completely. And let's go ahead and get started. In the meantime, I know some people have just joined and I know questions are coming on in. I do want to go ahead and let you know, I will inshallah look at those questions at the end. I'm sure I will cover most of them over the course of this webinar. So please be patient, inshallah. And if you do have any questions that come to mind, you can leave them in the chat. I'll go ahead and take a look once we've gone through the presentation. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Okay, so before I even go into the agenda, the first thing I want to cover, I know, is about sales date. There's still people who are questioning, whether or not it's going to happen tomorrow. Yes, it's definitely going to happen tomorrow. I know there's been a lot of back and forth. There's been a lot of times where like 48 hours, 24 hours, and I do apologize for that. At the end of the day, the decision of when these packages are going live is in the hands of the ministry. And so we were kind of beholden to what their timeline looks like. So I do apologize if you were one of the people who was on with us yesterday and I told you guys, yeah, next 48 hours there's not going to be any news. The decision was made. It's going to happen Wednesday. And that's why I went ahead and informed everyone in the group today, right? So for those who are asking, is it going to happen tomorrow? Definitely, it's going to happen tomorrow. NUSUK has, since my announcement in the group and the announcement from the service providers, has already confirmed this information on its own social channels as well. As far as timing goes, I know there's a lot of speculation on the internet, and there was a time frame provided, which is the one that you're seeing going around, which in Makkah time is between 8 p.m. and 12 a.m. Makkah time. So that equates to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in New York. And, just depending on which time zone you are within the United States, you can just go 1 hour back, right? Now, this is the time frame provided and why you're seeing it be spread across all of the internet. One of the reasons why I went ahead and put in a post, be prepared for any point tomorrow, is that I'm sure that there will be different things that they're testing out. It may be possible that it starts earlier than that, right? I just don't want anyone to be caught unprepared. So the way I would stay ready is at any point tomorrow during the day, even before 1 p.m. New York time, you should inshallah be prepared. As far as the checklist that we're going to talk about, have it done tonight, inshallah. Have everything done tonight before you go to sleep, so that in the morning when you wake up, there's nothing left for you to do. Inshallah, whenever sales open up, you're able to log in and get through the process. So that's in terms of time, right? Okay, so let's take a look here. What we're going to cover. We're going to go ahead and skip over this part. At this point, alhamdulillah, I think a lot of you have been around our meetings, but basically Al-Rajhi is one of the 10 service providers who is selling packages on NUSUK. I am their American representative, like I've already mentioned. So inshallah, we hope to take many of you for Hajj with us this year. What we are going to focus on is your NUSUK checklist, what you should have completed today in order to make sure you have the best chances tomorrow. Then this is going to be more generalized. Then inshallah, we're going to go ahead and give you some information specifically about Al-Rajhi's USA packages, right? And what you should keep in mind with that. Then I know a lot of you have custom flights. Inshallah, we'll walk through that. And then we'll go over launch time and just our plans as Al-Fajr, as a company, how we plan on helping you guys through the process tomorrow. So let's take a look here. And actually, before we go into the final checklist, hold on. Yep. So alhamdulillah, look at this. We're almost there to the finish line. Tomorrow, inshallah, we'll be booking our packages. So I know one of the questions ends up being, how do I know that my package has been booked? Of course, everything again is, I'm just communicating what has been communicated by NUSUK and the ministry. What has come down to us is that once you are able to check out of your cart and your e-wallet, the money has been deducted from your e-wallet and you've been sent a confirmation email from NUSUK. This confirms that your package has been successfully purchased. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The other thing, I know there's a lot of brothers and sisters who've been coming into these meetings who perhaps who are from different countries, who may have different Al-Rajhi packages outside of the United States in their cart, who may have different companies in their cart. You're always welcome. You're more than welcome to stay for the full meeting. But the things that I want you guys in particular to remember is, number one, if you're in a Majaro Kapsh package, keep in mind those packages have very, very high demand, very, very low quota. You guys especially make sure your backup list has several options, including options with Muasim. Based on the numbers that we're seeing on the back end, it looks like there may be 4 to 5 times more demand than there are packages available for Majaro Kapsh. So especially you guys, I know a lot of you've communicated with me, you like the packages that Al-Rajhi is doing, you'd like to go with those, and that you're keeping them as your backups in case Muasim doesn't work, and Majaro Kapsh doesn't work. So inshallah, I'm going to go through my packages and which ones have capacity so that you can best prepare as to what you should keep as your backups. If you're going, for example, in addition to this, I know there's a lot of folks here who've gone with European packages for Al-Rajhi, the ones that are more cost effective. Keep in mind, again, those packages are extremely highly configured. There's not enough descriptive words for me to use how highly configured some of those packages are. Those standard packages, some of them have like 200 slots and have like 4,000 people who have it in their cart. So again, those people, your chances of getting that package are very slim. So make sure you have many, many backups in mind. The people who have one of the packages that I've been promoting in your cart, inshallah, I'm going to go through the exact configuration options with you guys. Alhamdulillah, we have plenty of stock. So you should be okay for 90% of our packages. There's only one package that I'm really concerned about, and I will go ahead and talk about that in a minute. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and skip through these. But again, if you are still struggling, especially with your e-wallet option or how to configure a package, right? I've spoken to a lot of you today throughout the day, helped you configure your packages. Alhamdulillah, shout out to my amazing, amazing team of volunteers who've been helping you guys configure your packages. If you're still struggling with this, we have a whole YouTube video dedicated to it. So definitely go ahead and take a look at that once you get off this call. If you're still struggling, leave us a voice note or a message on WhatsApp so we can try to connect you to one of the volunteers and get your package configured and your e-wallet topped up before you go ahead and go to sleep tonight. Okay, number one, this is your checklist, right? This is your NUSUK checklist, what has to be done tonight before you go ahead and go to sleep so that you're well prepared for tomorrow. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have a package configured and ready in your cart. This is super important because you want to make sure your checkout process is as smooth as possible. And again, I'm going to go through, let me see if I can actually pull up that slide. Hold on, brothers and sisters. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go over these configurations in a little bit, but just to let you know, right? When it comes to this, oh, this looks, oh. When you are looking at this, right? Whichever one of these packages you have configured, these are all the packages we're offering here from the United States. Make sure you're also paying attention to what the flights look like and what the occupancy types look like. The reason why is this. Say, for example, you have a package like, let's talk about luxury line 2, right? There is IAD JFK. We know this is pretty much full. What we don't know is if all those people have JFK in their cart or some JFK, some IAD. So if you have a package in your cart, whatever package you have configured, just also make sure you know what the occupancy types are, what the flights types are, and have that discussion. If it's just you, plan it out internally. If you have family who's coming with you, have that discussion amongst the family and decide. If you have luxury line 2 in your cart and the JFK flight isn't available, are you guys okay going to DC? Are you guys, if you are a couple and you have double occupancy, but double occupancy isn't available, are you okay going for a quad? Make sure you know the answers to these questions tonight so that there's no issues tomorrow. Because inshallah, first of all, you should be able to get your first pick. We've got plenty of spacing these packages. That's one of the things that we did here at Al-Rajhi. We did less packages, more capacity per packages. So inshallah, everyone should be able to go with their first choice. As far as the luxury line 2 goes, right? For example, if you have this in your cart, what we want to make sure you do is keep in mind all the different configurations, all the different options. So say, for example, you have it in your cart, and what'll happen is if you have it in your cart, but your specific configuration between the hotels and flights or the occupancy and flights isn't available, it'll still show up in your cart. What'll happen is it'll give you like an alert in NUSUK that'll tell you, hey, either you have to change the flight you have is unavailable, or if it's an occupancy issue, that your occupancy isn't available. So just keep this in mind and, have that conversation of whether you think it's still worth it to go on with that package. For some of you, it may be like, yeah, I don't care if I have to go through DC or New York. I want to keep the same package. I want to stay in a double, and I'm fine going to DC as long as I can stay in a double, right? For some of you, the conversation may be that if I can't get a New York flight, I'm just going to drop the package altogether and I would want to go for one of the other packages. So have that conversation today. For some of you, it may be the opposite scenario, right? The New York flight may be available, but doubles may not be available. You may have to go into a quad or vice versa. Have that conversation again. Decide today if the choice is to just check out with whatever you have in your cart, or would you want to empty your cart and go with one of your backup options? So that's the first thing that I want you to keep in mind as you as you configure your packages. Now let's go back to that NUSUK checklist. The second thing we want you to keep in mind is making sure your e-wallet is topped up. I know a lot of you have been struggling all throughout today to get that e-wallet topped up. Inshallah, we're going to try to help you as best as we can. One of the things we're telling everyone, because this is what's been communicated to us by our service provider, by Al-Rajhi Saudi offices, is that make sure you're putting in a ticket complaining to NUSUK that you're having e-wallet issues. And I understand your frustration, brothers and sisters. I know they don't come back with the most what's the word to use here, helpful advice necessarily, but it's really important that we at least put in an official ticket so they know that you're and are aware that people are having issues with their e-wallets. The main issues have been specifically with Bank of America. So if you're having a couple of the smaller like credit union credit cards, the smaller credit cards. So my request to you guys, brothers and sisters, is if you have the ability to use a different type of credit card, like a Chase card, you'll have more success, inshallah, with topping up that e-wallet. Make sure your e-wallet is topped up to the full amount of your package in order to ensure a smooth checkout. Now, these next two things are, of course, optional, but would, inshallah, increase your chances of being able to have a smooth checkout process. Number one is if your package that's configured is less than your backup package, we'd recommend topping up your e-wallet to the amount of the backup package, so that there's no risk of you having to top up your e-wallet once selling starts. The second thing to keep in mind here is if you are doing a custom flight, right? We've got a couple of packages that offer you the option to do a custom flight. If you're doing one of those, one of the recommendations we have is that whatever the cost of the flight is, try to put a little bit more than that, maybe 10% of that amount. So if it's like $1,000 flight, maybe like $1,100 is what you put in your e-wallet, so that in case the price changes between today and tomorrow, you have enough in your e-wallet to check out with your custom flight. The other thing for those folks, inshallah, and I will talk about it, but make sure you have at least 3-4 packages you found in the custom flight portal, so that if your first choice flight is no longer available, that there's a backup you have ready to go. So these two things about the e-wallet, as far as like making sure you have enough in your backup package, or enough extra if you're doing a custom flight option. Make sure both these things are optional, but inshallah will increase your ability to check out with the with one of your packages. Basically, just keep in mind, of course, I know this is a lot to ask because of the refund policy with the NUSUK. There's two things there. Number one is that 1.5% processing fee that NUSUK charges on refunds that you have to keep in mind. The second thing is, I know there's a lot of conversations going on because there was this, because they added the button for refunds now on the e-wallet, and it's trying to charge you a VAT. Right now, brothers and sisters, even if you needed a refund, do not ask for a refund, because that VAT option was done incorrectly. They've already announced that they're going to go ahead and remove it. So let's just wait on NUSUK to do that before we go ahead and ask for refunds on anything. As far as backup packages are concerned, right? That's the third thing you want to make sure everyone here does. Of course, you are able to prefer one package or mark one package as preferred in NUSUK right now, right? But that's that heart feature. So you can go ahead and do that today. But on top of marking it as heart, like hearting it, what I would recommend is literally on a piece of paper, write down the name of the package and the exact configuration you would want, right? If you're going into one of our packages, if you take a look here, we've given you all the info possible, right? We've told you what the configurations are that's available, what the pricing is that's available, what the flights are that's available. So make sure you're writing down. For example, if 2 Luxury Line 1 is your main option, and this is over configured by almost 100 people. So there's going to be at least 100 people who have this as their first choice and won't be able to go with it. Make sure you have your backup and you know the exact configuration you want. So for example, if that's Luxury Line 1, make sure you know the name is Luxury Line 1, even if you have it marked as preferred. In case that filter doesn't work tomorrow, you want to have it written down so you can search for it really quickly using the search option. And then you can go ahead and make sure you know the pricing for the type of room flight type you want. And keep in mind with this option, the cost of flights is included. And then make sure you know which airport you would want to depart from, right? So have this all written down for not only your second option. What I would recommend is have at least 2-3 options, especially if you're going for one of these packages that are over configured, which for us is really just these are the two that are over configured. The New York flight, that's Medina first, and then the custom flight for luxury line 2. If you're doing the Musafir flight, inshallah, you shouldn't have an issue in terms of being able to check out, except with 3 luxury line 1 or with 2 luxury shifting line 1. With these ones, what I would recommend is in the Musafir portal, search a couple of flight combos and keep down the exact flight numbers that you would like, so that if you're the flight that you've been able to add on to your package somehow becomes unavailable between today and tomorrow, that you're able to go ahead and quickly change to a different flight. Okay, and now let's go back one more step again, back to that checklist. Okay, join the updates channels, right? We've got 3 different ways that we're staying in contact. As far as the phone call option, unfortunately, we've maxed that out. So the 2 ways that you can stay in contact with us at this point is either via the WhatsApp group and the Telegram channel. And, inshallah, we're on top of it. We will let you know in both those channels and do that phone call for those who are able to sign up for that. As soon as selling is live. So as far as our team is concerned, I know there's a time frame that was provided. We are basically already on alert and having our volunteers basically check NUSUK actively throughout each hour to make sure that NUSUK doesn't go live earlier than the time frame provided, so that we can get that information to you as soon as possible. So hopefully, inshallah, if we have these steps ready, we can make sure that everyone is able to get their package. So let me take a look here. Okay, as far as Al-Rajhi's US packages go, right? Alhamdulillah, we're in pretty good shape for most of these. Luxury line 2 is still slightly under capacity, so you should be able to check out with your configured package. Same thing over here for 3 luxury line 1. The ones that 2 luxury line 2, it's only a couple people over that is over configured. So inshallah, pretty much everybody who has this in their cart will be able to check out with it. Really, the only package where we're concerned that a big chunk of people will not be able to grab it is this 2 luxury line 1, which is over configured quite a bit. So just anybody who has it there in their cart, of course, you can always try for it. Just keep in mind you may need to, or for 50% of you, you will need to go ahead and jump over to a different package. In our case, we would recommend luxury line 1 through DC. DC is the one that seems to be under capacity. So this would probably be the best backup option for you guys. And the good thing about having it as a backup is that the pricing is slightly lower. The New York flight is a little bit more expensive. So if you're going through via the DC flight, you won't have to go ahead and top up your e-wallet for an extra amount. As far as luxury line 1 goes, luxury shifting line 1 goes, 2 luxury shifting line 1 goes, all of these are great backup options, or a great option for you to configure right now if you're still deciding on configuring something, because there's plenty of space available in them. Specifically, the the Chicago, DC, or LAX options. For people who are not from New York, we really, really recommend you go for any of those other cities, because the New York flights we're expecting are the ones where a lot of the folks are concentrated. New York's got a big population. We've got a lot of demand for JFK flights. So something to keep in mind. Now, one of the things okay, so this is as far as Musafir is concerned, right? Or I'm sorry, our configuration is concerned. So I know we've talked about a lot of this. So, yep, literally create a checklist like this on paper. I know it's a little funny to do this on pen and paper, but it's just so that, you're not relying on technology at that moment. Make sure you have each package written out in the specific configuration with occupancy and flight, so that you know exactly what you're doing. You've had that thought, all the thinking and the thought process and decision making is happening tonight. So tomorrow you're just following A, B, C according to what's available. Okay, so we've already talked about this, up to an extra 10 to 15% if you are using that Musafir option, will be helpful. Okay, so one of the things we're doing, there's gonna be 2 documents that are gonna go out late tonight. I do apologize, they'll probably go out 1 a.m., 2 a.m. New York time, because of the fact that I'm still building them out with my team. So there's 2 things that are going to go out. One is going to be a document that's going to have the exact links for each of our packages. So one of the good things about NUSUK is if you're logged in, you can actually copy the URL for the package, paste it in your browser, and you will be able to go ahead and go directly to the package and skip having to search for the package or filter by preferred package. So that will be one document that's going to be sent out. It's going to be a drive sheet. The second thing that's going to be sent out is going to be a list of flights from popular gateways like Dallas that are available in Musafir, right? So what if, worst case scenario, all the packages, right, when we're talking about these packages right here, what if all these packages that have flights become full? What is your option? We have these specifically 3 luxury line 1 and 2 luxury shifting line 1 without flights attached to them. So the idea is, inshallah, we will go ahead and provide you guys with a bunch of flights. I'm going to sit down. I have been doing this throughout the day today and basically find as many flight combos as I can for the main gateways. These are actually from earlier today that were available. So that in case you have to choose this option, or in case you are in one of the custom flights and you need that additional assistance, you will have a bunch of different flights from Dallas, from Houston, from Atlanta, from Seattle, from San Francisco, I will even do extra flights from New York, configured for you so that you don't have to go ahead and be digging through all of Musafir, that custom flight option on NUSUK yourself. You will have a list with you, literally a Google drive sheet that will give you all the flights. So you just have to look for the exact flight that we've already checked to make sure is appropriate and in line with your package, and you can go ahead and check out with it. So that is there. So basically these are the 2 flights for each of Houston and Dallas that we've already found. Inshallah, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the couple of the cities and send it out to you, hopefully by 1, 2 a.m. this morning. Either way, these are supposed to be your backups, so inshallah you'll have it with you beforehand. Okay. Last thing, selling time. What is the plan for tomorrow? How is NAF going to be helping you out? Let's talk about our game plan. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and open up the camera, say salam to everyone again. I know we had about like 50, 60 people join since this meeting started. No worries if you missed the first part of this meeting. Inshallah, this is getting recorded. And one of the reasons why I'm not going on NUSUK is so that I don't have to blur anything out or do any editing, and I can just go ahead and get this up as soon as possible. If you missed how to use Musafir's multi-city feature, if you missed how to configure a package, or what our specific, us showing you specifically how to configure our packages, no worries. We've already got those recordings up on NUSUK and they're getting recorded as we're doing this. Okay, and sorry, brothers and sisters, I'm just reading off my checklist. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Okay, so tomorrow, first and foremost, once you get that call, please keep in mind you're not the only one who's getting that call. Our people aren't going to be the only one getting that call, right? All the service providers, all their international partners, we're all kind of like hawkishly checking NUSUK to make sure we can know as soon as it goes live. So what's going to happen is maybe our team gets a 10-second, 30-second heads up versus another team, or they get a 30-second heads up on us, but pretty much everybody within the 10 to 15 minute period of when NUSUK opens up will be telling their people that NUSUK's opened up, go onto the website. Now, of course, NUSUK is being used in like over 100+ countries, right? So you will have a lot of people trying to log in at the same time. what we can expect is that is going to be a very large number of people trying to get on this website. And we've seen throughout the last 2 weeks since these packages have gone live, that the capacity of NUSUK to handle the load is not very good. I'm sorry, that's the only word I can really use here. So keep in mind, it may happen where you're trying to log in, it's not letting you log in. It may happen where you log in and it crashes or it times you out. Please, 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 brothers and sisters, be patient throughout this. I know it's going to be frustrating. I know it's going to be this. I know there's a lot of anxiety involved with this, but we're, like I said, inshallah, it's the month of Ramadan. It's a blessed time. Make dua today. We will be there with you every step of the way, but just keep in mind and be mentally prepared. It may take you some time to get in on the website. That's the first, and like the first thing that you have to keep in mind. The second thing is, keep in mind that that there are a couple of things you can do to make sure it's a smoother process. Number one, try to use a solid internet connection, right? Try to be in a place where your internet is solid. If that's home, if that's work, I understand it's a weekday, it's in the middle of the day. It isn't very convenient for us here in the United States, but we have to try to do the best that we can with the situation we've been provided with. Don't try to do this on your phone. Do this on a computer. Do this on a laptop. Um, try to use incognito mode of whatever browser you're using. That seems to help a lot of times with those 404 errors. Yep, so we've already talked about what to do in terms of prep. The second thing is, as soon as I first get out all that information to you in terms of like on Telegram, on the call, on WhatsApp that NUSUK has gone live, I will also go ahead and share a live link to a webinar. So that's something like, it's going to be like this. I'll be sharing my screen, trying to get through NUSUK myself, and try to walk you guys through what's happening in real time on the website. So what I would recommend for that is keep that on your phone away from your laptop or whatever else you're using NUSUK on, so that there's no interference with the two. Of course, you don't have to join if you don't want to, but I'm going to try to be there and provide tips as I'm learning them myself throughout this process. Let's see here. Okay, so the other thing we're going to go ahead and provide you again is those drive links and flight combos. So I'll try to, I was getting some requests as I'm having this conversation about specific cities. No problem, inshallah. I see somebody mentioned Boston. I will go ahead and try to find a couple flights from Boston through Musafir for each of the different flight combos we have. That, like the different packages have different dates. So I'll go ahead and find a couple flights for Boston for shifting line 1, shifting line 2, sorry, luxury line 1, luxury line 2, and the shifting package. Yep. So I think we've pretty much got this covered as far as what we'll be doing for you guys. The other thing I want you to keep in mind is with that checklist that you'll have, just go ahead and make sure you know that NUSUK allows you to search for packages as well. So if, for example, your first pack, you log in, your cart's empty. You use the filter option where you can filter by your preferred package and it's not working. Don't try to struggle through 400 packages. There's a search bar option. And go, inshallah, go into NUSUK after this call and make sure you understand what I'm talking about. It's on the packages page on the right side. You can just search by the specific package name. What I would recommend is don't try to do the full name of the package. That's been causing issues. Say you're going for a luxury line 1, just put in, whether it has nothing in front of it or it has a 2 or 3, just put luxury line 1 and it should bring up all 3 US packages. And then you should be able to go ahead and configure from there. That's point number 2. The final thing, now this is specifically to people who have a package of not only Al-Rajhi, but specifically the ones that I've been talking about, and I'll go ahead and share them on screen one more time for you. Give me 1 second, brothers and sisters. Sorry. Anytime I'm sharing my screen, it takes me a little bit of time to navigate to the right page. Okay. So if you specifically have one of these configured in your cart, sorry, give it 1 second. Okay. If you specifically have one of these packages configured in your cart, me and my team are very well versed with these packages. We know on top of our head which flights are available with it. We know on top of our head the dates that are available with it. So what I've gone ahead and done is created a list of all of our volunteers and their phone number specifically. Sorry, this is okay. To help guide you through this process. So say for example, you're logged in, you're in, for example, to luxury line one. You log in your account, it's gone because it's been sold out. Now you need some help figuring out, for example, maybe luxury line one is done too. Maybe you have to go ahead and choose a custom flight, that's your secondary option, and you're not able to figure it out between all the information we're providing you. No worries, inshallah, we have this list of volunteers who can help. But what I want to do is split you guys between the different volunteers. What happens is if you're going to all call the NAF main number, which is that number in the top right corner you see there, it's going to, we won't be able to help everyone, right? Because it's one number, even if it goes to 3 different lines, which is what happens, it goes to 3 different lines. We won't be able to, I know with the amount of calls we're gonna get in, we're not gonna be able to respond to people. So if you're specifically in our packages, I'm gonna go ahead and send out another Google Drive form. You can specifically put your package, your backup package, and I can give you a phone number designated to you who you can call if you have issues with your backup package or through this process. But like I said, brothers and sisters, most of these packages have plenty of room, even the ones that are over configured, for example, or close to getting configured, or, at capacity, they're pretty much good to go. Really, the only one that you should be a little, if you have it in your card, be mentally prepared that you'll have to go for a different option is to luxury line one, which is that Medina first JFK flight. Other than that, inshallah, everyone should be able to go ahead and check out with their first option. So let me go ahead and hop into the end here. And what I'm going to do is start taking your questions because I know we have a lot of questions in the chat. And I just want to leave our info on the screen. As far as the interest form goes, I know it's still up there, but at this point, what I would focus on is you can join our Telegram group. You can join the WhatsApp group. You can take down this number, but brothers and sisters, like I said, I'm expecting this number to really get clogged. So what the main thing I would recommend is keeping in touch on that WhatsApp and Telegram, and inshallah join and keeping basically an eye out for all the information that's going to come out tonight on WhatsApp and Telegram, right? So there will be a lot of documents that are sent tonight. I apologize again for number one, they'll be sent out late, and then number two, it's going to be a lot of information, but I'm trying to make sure you guys get as much information from me as possible beforehand to make that process smoother. Inshallah, like I said, I expect everyone who's got something configured to be able to check out. One of the things that's happening is that a lot of the packages that are over configured are, the ones that have got the cafe, stuff like that. So, a lot of those people are going to try to come to these once those packages get filled up, right? So because you have these in your cart first, inshallah, the idea is you're able to go ahead and check out before anyone is coming towards these packages. So hopefully, inshallah, that makes that, this process easier for all of you. So let me go ahead and look at these questions. Okay, so yes, I get a lot of questions from the international community. I know that there have been people who are coming from different countries, like Australia, the East Asian countries. So, I've gotten people from Japan and Korea and these sorts of countries reaching out. You're always welcome to join us. All of our scholars, all of our guides, all of our operations team does operate in the English language primarily. or that is the first language. Most of our guides are multilingual or bilingual. So inshallah, we'll be having speakers who speak Arabic, Urdu, Bangla. We actually even have one French or two French speaking guides and a Spanish speaking guide too. So alhamdulillah, we have a pretty diverse team. So you're more than welcome to join us if you're looking for a team that speaks English first, if you're coming from a country where perhaps there's no speakers of your language being offered. So I hope for the people who are from the international community, this goes ahead and answers your question. And then I see there was a couple of questions about time frame. Again, brothers and sisters, we have not been given an exact time frame. Well, the time frame that's been circulating, that's been communicating, is around 8 p.m. to midnight Makkah time, which would be around 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. New York time. But I want everyone here to be prepared for any time tomorrow. So, it may be possible that it happens at 12 in the noon. It may be possible it happens 11 a.m. So I just want everyone to be mentally prepared for any time tomorrow. Like I said, our team is keeping like a hawk-like view of NUSUK right now to make sure we get that input to you as soon as it becomes available. And then, the brothers and sisters were asking about capacity. I've already gone over it, but alhamdulillah, overall, our packages, again, we've got less packages, more capacity in them. So overall, we're good to go. Really, the two packages that we're telling people not to stay away from is that 2 luxury line 1, so the Medina first package leaving from JFK, and the other one is the 2 luxury line 2, so the one that's Makkah first with the custom flight option. Somebody is asking about the option of extending by a couple of days with the custom flight. That's correct. I've already communicated that to the Al-Rajhi team, and it looks like this is going to be the case with NUSUK. They're not going to allow you to do a custom flight where you're able to leave later than the end of your package. It doesn't look like they're changing that. So say, for example, your package ends on the 20th, or your package ends on the 23rd or 24th, which is the 3 days that any of our packages are ending. On the custom flight option, which is Musafir, you will not be able to choose a date past whatever your last day is of your package. Luxury line 1 has plenty of spots available for those who are asking. We don't, unfortunately, in the back end know whether it's the Chicago flight that has the room or the DC flight, because this information isn't passed to us. So hopefully, inshallah, you should be able to configure that. Just keep in mind, according to and what we're expecting, it looks like the DC ones are the ones that have more availability. Okay. Okay, for people who are talking about packages with really high numbers like 17, 18, these are all European packages, brothers and sisters. They're not supported by my office, so they're not US based. They're actually based with the French partner for Al-Rajhi. So, keep in mind the tour guides, everything, the scholars, everything are going to be based out of France. In addition, a lot of those packages that are more cost effective, keep in mind, they're highly over configured, but these are just the heads up that I'm giving you with those. Let's take a look here. As far as our airlines go, for New York, DC, Los Angeles, all of these have flights using Saudi Airlines. That's kind of our exclusive partner with those 3 cities. In order to accommodate Chicago as a gateway, we had to go with Turkish Airlines. Saudi Airlines doesn't operate out of there. So as far as the flights go, again, LA, DC, New York, Saudi Airline flights, Chicago, Turkish Airlines. Again, questions about the camps, the difference between Majar al-Kabsh and Muasim. The main difference between these camps is that Majar al-Kabsh is closer, Muasim is further. That's the main difference. between the two types of packages. Okay. For the people who are still trying to top up their e-wallets, keep in mind you can go ahead and use multiple credit cards. It does not have to be one credit card. You can use multiple transactions. None of this is limited. But again, brothers and sisters, make sure you have everything topped up tonight. Again, for the brothers and sisters who are asking for those, like luxury line 17, 18, 19, these are all European packages. They're based out of France. Unfortunately, I don't have the data readily available for that. But I did have a conversation about 2 days ago with the Al-Rajhi, Saudi offices, and what they've told me is that those are highly over configured. So just keep in mind if you have one of those in your package, or sorry, in your cart, that for example, I believe it was specifically luxury line 19 where it's got like 200 seats and like 4,000 people who have it in their cart. If I book okay, the next person is asking if I book my own flights outside of Musafir? No, you cannot. Unfortunately, you do need to select a package in NUSUK. I did a whole presentation on this a couple days ago, and in fact, the team was working on editing it. So if it's not already up on YouTube, it should be up in a little bit, so you could take a look at it. Okay, and I did go over this a couple times, but I know somebody just asked about 20 minutes ago as far as configuration goes. So I'm going to go ahead and show that one more time. Mainly, again, brothers and sisters, the package that you should, if you have it in your cart, just be prepared to have to choose a different one, is 2 luxury line 1. Other than that, pretty much everything else we've got is in pretty good shape. This 2 luxury line 2 is over by a couple of people, but still overall pretty good. Everything else is either slightly under configured or has plenty of room. For example, luxury line 1 and luxury shifting line 1, which have flights included as well, have plenty of room, inshallah. Okay, so the people who are asking, like with 2 luxury line 1, is it the flights that the issue? So the reason why this package has limited space is because of the flights, right? So, but it's not like you can get a custom flight and then be in this like automatically it'll increase the capacity of this package. No, if you're trying to do a custom flight, I would recommend going with 3 luxury line 1, right? If you're not familiar with the way our packages work, just to let you know, luxury line 1, luxury line 2, luxury shifting line 1, these are the 3 main packages. The itineraries for these 3 are the same. The itineraries for these 2 are the same. The itineraries for these 2 are the same. So as far as what hotels you're staying in, where you're landing, where you're gonna go, everything is the same in terms of services, the tours provided, the everything, the scholars, everything is the same. The main difference is where you're flying out of, right? So this one allows you to fly out from DC and Chicago. This version allows you to fly out of New York. This version, you can choose a custom flight. And for the people who are, like, oh, this is 21, it's a minor thing. It's basically this flight leaves early morning on the 21st, I believe like 3 a.m. So we needed to extend the hotel so that you can have the hotel room till the evening time. Instead of having to check out like on the 20th at noon and then be stuck without a room until that, the next early morning. So these basically all end on the 20th. If that was the difference for people where they're trying to go for 21st because of an extra day, it's not really an extra day, it's just the way the flights work, where we had to, NUSUK doesn't allow us to let it be till the 20th because your flight leaves at like I think 3 a.m. on the 21st, and we needed to extend the hotel for you guys. Okay, what is the package number for LAX? So if you needed a group flight, the only package that we have that has a group flight available from Los Angeles is luxury shifting line 1. Can you share the incoming phone number so that I can make sure that it's unblocked? Sorry, there are a lot of spam calls receiving recently. So I will see if I can get that information out to you guys. And we just tested out the software earlier today, with the group of the volunteers to make sure it's working properly. I'll try to see if everyone received the call from the same number, and if that's the case, I'll go ahead and update the WhatsApp group. Yes, sister. So there's one sister who's talking about how it is confusing because you can't tell which packages are for which country. I completely understand. There has been a lot of confusion because of this. So if you take a screenshot, Sister Abir, of your screen right now, these are all the packages available from the US with Nur Al-Fajr. There's one more that's Luxury Line 3 available through a different provider, but I'll go ahead and see if I can, the name is Luxury Line 3, but I can go ahead and put that info in there too. And I'll go ahead and repost this in the WhatsApp group in case you joined us late. As far as other providers, because I know you're asking for that, I wouldn't have that information for other providers, but all of these packages, right, Luxury Line 1, Luxury Line 2, and Shifting Line 1 are supported by an American-based office. All the scholars and guides will be, primarily English speaking. That's the first language. And they most importantly, they have flights already included from New York cities. From US cities, right? Whether that be Chicago, DC, New York, or LA will depend on which package you're looking at. But alhamdulillah, we went ahead and booked a lot of flights, and we tried to rely on the custom flight option for a very little number of packages, mainly because the process with how Musafir works can be tricky, and we want to make sure everyone is able to go ahead and get a package. For the person asking if you can do a round trip uh, flight in Musafir instead of multi-city, now that multi-city is up and running, yes, you can. No matter where you land, well, I should correct, your final destination should either be Jeddah or Medina, right? If your final destination is Riyadh, we're not going to be able to come grab you from Riyadh. But as long as your final destination for your flight is either Medina or Jeddah, Al-Rajhi will provide you the transportation to to whatever airport you're landing in, to your hotel, and from your hotel to whatever airport you gotta travel out of. But the people asking specifically, is there going to be a checkout button? Is there going to be, how are you going to check out the cart? We haven't been provided a lot of information on this. I do apologize. I should have gone into a little bit of detail about that. I've mentioned it in a couple of the other webinars. What's been communicated to us is that if your package is still available, it will still appear in your cart. That's about all that we know. The speculation is that if you click on that shopping cart bag or that shopping bag at the top, you should be able to check out from there once selling starts. Yes, people who are asking if they choose custom flights, will they get transportation? Yes. Like I just said before too, I want to make sure everyone knows this. Whether you do Makkah or Makkah or Medina as your city that you're flying into, whichever city you get to, we are going to arrange your transportation. I triple confirmed this with the Al-Rajhi team today as well, because I know we have people who are trying to go with these custom flight options, and it's going to be about a couple hundred of you between those three, these three packages that offer the Musafir option. And inshallah, yes, you will have transportation provided to you. For the people who are saying the WhatsApp group is full, I do apologize. The QR code may be for our update group that's already been full. If you don't mind just sending a message on WhatsApp to this phone number asking to be put in the group, we can go ahead and put you in the group. For the people asking if when a package is over configured or sold out, is it the flight or hotel that's overbooked? It's basically the specific capacity for that one, right? So everything has to be booked out for it to be taken out of your cart. At least that's what's been explained to us. So say all the doubles, like say this has, these are make-believe numbers that I'm just using, for example, but say this one has 50 doubles available, 50 quads available. Once all 100 of those sell out, you will no longer be able to see this option. That's how it's going to work. For the people who are asking if they can leave a few days early, number one, keep in mind we do have packages that leave early, which is the earliest package that you can leave is the 20th, right? But if you were trying to do, say, the shifting and wanted to leave on the 20th, you would do a custom flight using 2 luxury shifting line 1. And yes, you could leave early. Just keep in mind, do not book a flight that leaves Saudi earlier than the 20th. The 20th is the absolute earliest you can leave. Okay. Okay, the VAT tax that we're talking about is on refunds. So VAT is still going to be included if you're trying to purchase a package. What I was mentioning earlier is that you will sorry, right now, if you try to, the e-wallet has had this option of refund, right, where you can request your money back. Right now, if you try to issue yourself a refund on your e-wallet amount, what it tells you is that there's a percentage of your refund amount that's taken out as, taxes, as VAT. So for now, what we're saying is don't ask for that refund back just yet. Hold off, even if you're not able to get a package tomorrow, to make sure that the ministry or NUSUK is able to correct that and remove that deduction of the VAT on refunds, and then request your refund once that update's been made. And inshallah, I will go ahead and update the group once that option becomes available. But this is, of course, inshallah, first of all, everyone is able to go ahead and get their Hajj package tomorrow. But that's in, worst case scenario that we're talking about. But as far as checking out with the package goes, yes, there's going to be taxes charged on that. So there's people who are from different countries who are asking if they can take a US package. Yes, you can. Just keep in mind, if your primary language isn't English, keep in mind that the primary language for all of these packages that you're seeing in front of you is going to be English. You will have to, for people who are again asking about those custom flights, you have to go through NUSUK. NUSUK will not allow you to check out without a flight. So either you got to choose a group flight that's been provided by your service provider, or you can book within NUSUK through Musafir. That's that custom flight option that you get. So we don't have, so for the people asking about their known traveler numbers, stuff like that, inshallah, you should be able to, usually you're able to enter that information directly on the airline's website after purchasing your ticket. For the people asking if we top up our e-wallet with extra money, will you be able to get a refund? Yes, you will, but there is a 1.5% processing fee deduction to keep in mind. If you are in a package that goes to Medina first, you will have you will definitely have a layover before you get to Medina, right? There's no direct flights from the United States directly to Medina. If you are on a Chicago flight, you're taking Turkish Airlines, right? So whether you're in luxury line 1 or luxury shifting line 1, both of these, the final destination is Medina. So you'll have a layover in Istanbul and then you'll go to Medina. For IAD, JFK, and LAX, for the Medina first flights, your layover will either be in Riyadh or Jeddah, depending on which city you're leaving from in the United States, before you have a secondary flight, a secondary flight to Medina. Okay, so for the people again worried about the over-configured package, keep in mind, brothers and sisters, that it's first come, first serve once packages go live. So whoever goes first, whoever logs in first and is able to check out with this to luxury line one, the first, I don't know, I remember the exact number of seats, but whoever picks up, like, say, the first 50 doubles, the first 50 quads, once they have purchased and gone through that, cart, no one else will be able to add it. So it doesn't matter if you put it in your cart first and someone puts it in their cart tonight. It matters who is checking out with it first. How will payment work? Will payment be easy? The idea is if your e-wallet is topped up to the full amount of your package, you should be able to just check out. Okay, so there was a lot of questions in the group chat about, what package is available from what cities, stuff like that. So keep in mind, if you aren't familiar, IAD is the airport for Washington, D.C., ORD is the airport for Chicago, JFK is the airport for New York, LAX is the airport for Los Angeles, California. So hopefully that helps, and you can take a screenshot of what's on your screen right now, but I will go ahead and repost this page in the WhatsApp group. Okay, with custom. Okay, there was one question by an anonymous person. I'm sorry, brother or sister, I didn't understand the question about custom flights and to luxury line one versus luxury shifting line one. I do apologize. I don't understand the question. Can you just message it to the WhatsApp group, to our WhatsApp number, and we'll try to help you better over there. So there's a lot of questions again about 19, 20, 21. These are all European packages that are handled by the French offices. Again, brothers and sisters, overall, what I've been told is that these packages are been configured very highly. So they're, the one in particular that I remember is luxury line 19 that has like 200 seats and has like over like 2,000 people who have it in their cart. So those packages are going to be tough to pick up. And on top of that, the main thing that you, as if you are a US based person who's asking this question, keep in mind these are handled by a French office. The whole entire team that you'll be dealing with over there is going to be, primarily French speaking, right? Their first language is French. Some of them may speak English, but just keep that in mind. So, yep, like these are French packages. All of the European packages are handled by the French team. If you're looking for the ones that are going to be US based, all the Al-Rajhi packages for the US have an American flag, for the UK have a British flag. Anything that doesn't have a British flag or a US flag is based with the French team. Okay, for the people again asking about a time, we do not know the exact time, brothers and sisters. Inshallah, we will continuously be checking NUSUK to make sure as soon as they go live, we let you know. For the people asking about custom flights, what we've been told is that if your custom flight is still available, right, that it hasn't been taken off the GDS, it's still available in Google Flights, you should be able to go ahead and just check out with it. And as far as if it's not available, you may have to go back into Musafir, which is why we went ahead and recommended that you have a list of flights that work with your package ready beforehand, so that if you have to hop back into the custom flight into the Musafir portal, you're not having to dig through flights. You already know exactly what you're looking for. For the people asking, is it too late to add someone to your NUSUK account? It is very difficult to go ahead and get someone verified at this point. It may be risky in the sense that they may not be able to be added in time. And we don't have any 11-day packages. Our shortest packages are 13 days because we include Medina and everything. Okay. Okay, for the people asking about questions around occupancy, keep in mind, brothers and sisters, if basically the idea is if you've got, say, for example, luxury line one in your cart and you're three people and you've chosen a triple option, but say the triple sell out before you log in, what's going to happen is when you're trying to check out with that package, it should give you some sort of alert on your screen that your occupancy is not available anymore, and it'll take you to that page on NUSUK where you know how you did +3 in front of triple, and you should be able to either do +3 in front of a double or +3 in front of a quad in order to go ahead and check out. Again, brothers and sisters, I'm getting a lot of questions about those European packages. Just keep in mind, again, those aren't with my offices, so there's not a lot of details I can give you on those. I do know, generally speaking, the most cost-effective options, both in the standard value ones and in the luxury shifting ones specifically, are highly over-configured. And then again, keep in mind those packages are not going to be with an English-speaking team. As far as UK and US go, yeah, inshallah. Okay, next question. How can you make the package? And okay, I'm gonna try to the questions keep coming in. A lot of them are repetitive, and I want to make sure I'm cognizant of people's time. So I just want to make sure I'm just looking over the questions really quickly to get to the most important ones. If you guys, I'm sorry, brothers and sisters, have specific questions about, details on camps and stuff, I apologize. I'm just going to keep it strictly to sales related questions so that we're using this next 24 hours very, uh, well. So as far as what if you don't buy a package this week, will there be any availability next week? It really just depends on sales. The expectation for the United States, the quota here is very low. So the expectation is that within the first day of sales, all the packages or the quota for the country will be reached. Yes, if you're trying to go ahead and do those, like if you're like an American and you want to be on an American package, but you have to drop your kids in a different country, or you want to do a summer vacation, add a summer vacation to your home country, you can do that using the custom flight option. So book either 3 luxury line 1 or 2 luxury shifting line 1, and then in Musafir choose a flight from your home country. So say if that's Pakistan, say if that's Lebanon or Jordan, these are some of the countries that I've been speaking to people from. You would just book a round trip ticket in NUSUK from that country to Saudi Arabia and back, and then you would book a round trip ticket outside of NUSUK um, um, on your own. Okay. Um, no, so people who are asking, like, should we just keep logging in? Inshallah, wait until you get that heads up from us. I know a lot of you will want to go ahead and just log in and keep refreshing on your own as well. So of course, I'm not gonna, if you want to do that, you can do that. But our expectation is that if you're logged in, it may not refresh correctly. So you may have to log in, log out, and log back in. And for people who are asking if I can fly back on the 19th, you will not be able to choose a package, sorry, a flight that will fly back on June 19th. The earliest you will be able to fly out of the country is June 20th. So I think overall, outside of this, I was able to go ahead and answer most of the questions, or the general questions. So inshallah, what I'm going to go ahead and do is at least stop this recording over here so that